Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, we are going to be talking about the match between FC Barcelona and Elche. Barcelona have been able to defeat Elche 3-1 at home. Barcelona came offline. They pressed with intensity. They forced the mistakes from Elche, which is very important and something that we're definitely going to be talking about in this video. And lastly, they punished Elche's high line. We saw Lamine Yamal and Ferran Torres scoring a goal each by halftime, putting Barcelona in a 2-1 lead. Rashford was able to score the third goal on the 61st minute after having multiple attempts through the game. Rashford is slowly starting to become the best Barcelona attacker and one of the most efficient and one of the best loanee signings that the club has made in modern time. This was a game where we also saw Frenkie de Jong control the midfield. Alejandro Balde also dominating the left, positioning Barcelona in that 1-0 lead as well, because he did play an important role. I believe the reason why Frenkie de Jong and Alejandro Balde went up there to go on and attack, to look for those key passes, to look for those dribbles through the middle or on the flanks, was because they knew that Pedri was absent, that Pedri is going to be out for the next 6 to 8 games, and Barcelona is going to be losing that creative spirit. Hence the reason why players like Frenkie and Alejandro Balde stepped up, because what they wanted was to look for those goal scoring opportunities. Hansi Flick has given Frenkie and Alejandro Balde the license to go on and be more bold, be more daring, look for Yamal, look for Lewandowski, and look for Ferran Torres. So Frenkie de Jong was everywhere. Even though he was one of the CDMs, Frenkie was still acting like a number 10. Frenkie was still acting like a center back, also acting like a left back at one point. Frenkie won the most duels with a total of 8. He played 90 minutes, had 45 out of 50 passes completed, which was 90%. 2 chances were created, 1 big chance was created as well, and had 7 defensive contributions, with 3 out of 4 accurate long balls, 4 tackles, 1 block, 2 interceptions, 5 recoveries, and only dribbled past 1 time. He was a duel monster in the game, with also 8 out of 9 ground duels being won. So it was a top class performance from Frenkie de Jong, and the same thing can be said with Alejandro Balde. We needed the best out of Balde. We needed the Balde that we all once knew just a couple of months ago. And fortunately for us, we found him. Alejandro Balde ended with 4 out of 5 ground duels won. So with this game, our top 4 top contributors so far this season when it comes to goals, it is Lamine Yamal with 4 goals and 5 assists, Fermin Lopez with 6 goals and 2 assists, Ferran Torres with 6 goals and 1 assist, and then we have Marcus Rashford who has 6 goals and 5 assists. Marcus Rashford, like I've said, has the most goal contributions out of the 4 main attackers that we have been using the most this season, because Lewandowski and Rafinha are not really in the picture. It has only been about Yamal, only been about Fermin Lopez. It has only been as well with Ferran Torres and Marcus Rashford. They have been leading the attack, and Rashford has taken the step up the most out of all. I'm also happy to say that Ferran Torres reached 50 goals in 170 appearances for Barcelona. He has had consistency, great versatility, always being there through the years, playing on the right wing, as a striker, as a central attacking midfielder, as a left winger, with great clutch finishing. The more of this we can get out of Ferran Torres, the better. But going back to Marcus Rashford is on loan at Barcelona. Let's remember that when he first came, he was very low in terms of motivation, very low in terms of how he played his football. He was not in the most confident state, and Marcus Rashford needed a revival. And what better way to do that but by doing it with Hansi Flick and this Barcelona squad? He is reaching historic levels. 11 goal contributions in 14 matches, is averaging 0.79 goal contributions per 90 minutes. For context, there has been no first-year loanee that has matched this pace ever. He is literally our best loanee that we have had in modern time. The only close comparisons is Joao Felix, which was back in the 2023-2024 season with 10 goals and 6 assists in 44 matches, averaging 0.36 goal contributions per 90 minutes, nowhere near Rashford's input of 0.79. And then we have Luke de Jong, who came in during Xavi's time, scoring 7 goals and providing 1 assist in 29 matches, averaging 0.28 goal contributions per 90 minutes. Rashford is efficient. He is rewriting what a loan signing can look like at Barcelona. And I believe that if Rashford does keep this up, he might very well be ending with 15 goals and 15 assists by the end of the season, and ending with maybe 30 to 35 goal contributions all in all, which is also going to put him up there with Rafinha of last season and Lamine Yamal of last season. What made this also very easy for Rashford is the fact that Elche was trying to play out from the back. They were trying to really play football against us and go toe to toe with us. Elche made a few mistakes at the back line, leading to us regaining the ball through either Marcus Rashford or Alejandro Balde, and we capitalized off of those mistakes. Hence the reason why we were able to score 2 goals in the first half within a span of 4 minutes. And that is the Barcelona that we have been looking for and been waiting for this season. We have been wanting to see a Barcelona team that is lethal, that is able to regain the ball, force mistakes, and attack it directly with a lot of verticality. And so with those type of goals that Barcelona have scored, we want to see more of that as games does go by, regardless whether Rafinha is there or not, regardless whether Pedri is there or not. This is the Barcelona that we want to see. Now, let's talk about Fermin Lopez, because Fermin Lopez, to me, and I believe that the world has also been noticing this, Fermin Lopez is turning into one of Europe's Europe's most dangerous midfielders. He simply is. He just does not have the PR of Bellingham or the PR of Valverde or any other number 10 out there, like Musiala as well. Fermin has played 9 games so far for Barcelona, scoring 6 goals and providing 2 assists. Do you guys know what that means? That basically means that he's averaging 0.67 goals per game. That is more efficient than Odegaard and Xavi Simons. He's also a dual threat monster. He is among the top La Liga midfielders in terms of key passes and touches in the box. He is also very consistent with 30 goal contributions across 2 seasons. He is rivaling other attacking midfielders like Bruno Fernandes and Bellingham. And then of course, 4 out of the 6 goals that he has scored came with his weaker foot and 1 from outside the box. This guy is a finisher. This guy can finish with his left foot, his right foot, from outside the box or inside the box. And we need number 10s like this. He has also had 6 goal contributions in the last 3 matches. So we are seeing Fermin's best level at this moment, scoring a hat-trick against Olympiacos, a goal versus Real Madrid, 2 assists versus Elche. I cannot believe that Chelsea bid 4 million euros for Fermin. Barcelona knew what Fermin was worth, which is why Barcelona said it's either going to be 90 million euros for Fermin or nothing. Because yes, these numbers is a player that cost 90 million euros. And I think that it is safe to say that Fermin Lopez is not going to be going anywhere. He wants to represent this Barcelona badge. He loves this club and we're going to back him until the very end. Now, I would say that there is one nitpick that I have. At the end of the day, even though we saw many players do very well, like Marcus Rashford, who won the MVP award, Fermin Lopez, Lamine Yamal also got his goal, Ferran Torres also got his goal, Jules Koundé and Alejandro Balde bossing the flanks. Like, even though we saw a lot of those things in this game, I would still say that Elche still scored against us. And Elche, even though I highly respect them a lot, Barcelona should have never conceded against this team, because now Barcelona have conceded in 8 straight matches. That is their longest run without a clean sheet since January through February of 2021. And Barcelona at that time were at a very low point. I think that the defensive stability remains Hansi Flick's biggest concern. It is nothing else. It is not one of the most biggest concerns, but it is the biggest concern for Flick. It is the defensive stability. We leak a lot of goals, leak a lot of chances at the back. There was a moment in this game where Elche could have made it 2-2 before the 70th minute. And so we have to read up on that. But all in all, we are on the correct path. Barcelona is still 5 points behind Real Madrid, but the league is still very long. We still have a lot of time, a lot of games to play. And so let's take it step by step. Barcelona's next game is going to be against Club Brugge on Wednesday, November 5th. We will be talking about that game for the pre-match preview, and also I'm going to be uploading a post-match review for the match. So make sure that if you guys are Barcelona fans, subscribe to the channel so you guys won't miss anything FC Barcelona related. That is going to be wrapped up in today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.